Researchers studying the relationships between mating penguins on Victoria's Phillip Island have found almost 1 in 4 penguin couples end up separating. About 1,000 penguin couples were tracked for more than a decade, with researchers recording 250 separations where penguins switched partners between mating seasons. Richard Reina is a professor of biological sciences at Monash University and joins us now live. Richard, hi there. What is causing the breakups?
Hi there, Lorna. Well, the first thing to say is there's no cause for alarm. Penguins divorce, and generally the reason that they do is because they've had an unsuccessful breeding season. And by that I mean that they have laid eggs and the eggs have hatched, but they haven't reached those chicks to fledging, getting their adult feathers and leaving the colony. And so when that happens, the chance that they divorce and find a new partner the next season greatly increases. And in that sense, it's a strategy to try to improve their reproductive success. But of course, it does have a risk because they may not find a new partner or they may not find a better partner. Plus, it takes time to establish a new pair bond and to gain reproductive experience together. But it is a strategy that the birds use to try and improve their chances of reproduction.
It purely is survival of the fittest, then?
Well, I guess survival of those that are the most compatible pair bond, I suppose. You could think of it that way.
Richard, I wonder, is it the female penguins leaving the males or the males leaving the... I mean, what's the trend?
Well, I suppose they leave each other. It's hard to say which one initiates that separation, because what we see is because the birds are microchipped, we know exactly which birds are paired together, and we can monitor them in their nest burrows and boxes. And at the next breeding season, we can go to that same nest burrow and box and find 2 different birds. They may be one of the original pair or they may be 2 completely new ones, but we do see then that each partner of that previous season's pair bond now has a new partner. We can't tell who's initiated it, but certainly they both end up with someone new. Interesting,
though, that in the research that you're involved with, that these separation rates you think are a more reliable predictor of the survival of a colony. Why is that, when you could consider ocean temperatures, environment, that sort of stuff?
Well, no, that's a very good question, and it sort of surprised us because typically we do look at ocean conditions, including temperature and productivity, and we expect to see changes in things such as the foraging patterns of birds as they seek prey. But we did think it was important to include a social element, that being this pair bonding. So that's what we did, and we did find, as you said, that the rates of divorce were a better predictor of the reproductive success of the colony than those environmental conditions. And I guess it's a question of sort of direct connection to their breeding activity, that the 2 penguins paired together are the ones that raise the chicks, and that is the way in which the sort of connection to the marine environment actually manifests in their reproductive success. So there was quite a bit of variation. In one of the years of study, there was only a 5% divorce rate, so 1 in 20, but it was as high as 1 in 3, with an average of about 1 in 4 pairs separating, and that's within a single year. It's possible that the same birds then divorce again in some subsequent year.
Oh, interesting. I love these pictures. You could just sit and watch penguins all day, couldn't you? Richard,
They're very charismatic little animals.
Aren't they just? Are there seasonal variations? Are the divorces happening at particular times of year?
Well, the divorces, we detect them at the beginning of the season because when penguins finish breeding, in winter they leave the colony and they don't come back until spring to start breeding again, and that's when we see them because they might spend a month or more out at sea because they have no need to return to the colony to feed chicks. And therefore when they turn up at the beginning of the following season, that's when we detect that they now have a new partner. So it's the divorce occurs, sometime over winter. I guess that would be the best way to think of it.
Yeah. Okay. How is the colony on Phillip Island? Is it healthy?
Yes, it is, and it's growing. There's over 35,000 birds on the island, and of course we can't study them all. So we worked within a small region of the colony where all the birds are microchipped, and they are usually using nest boxes, which makes it easier for us to check who's there and how their reproductive success is for that season. But overall, the penguin colony there looks very healthy. And so that's why I say divorce is not a cause for concern. But what we do want to do is ensure that we continue to monitor those sort of measures of reproductive success so that if we were to see, say, a longer term increase in divorce rates, that might be a bit of a warning signal that there's an issue with food availability or some other factor that we need to keep an eye on.
OK, where else do you want to go with your research?
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
Where else do you want to go with the research? What next?
Oh, I see. Well, we have projects underway at the moment to track the birds and to get a better understanding of what they eat. And also what makes a good parent is a really interesting and important question. Understanding what are the differences between birds who succeed and have large healthy chicks and those who fail. So understanding their interaction with their environment is a very important part of that.